Hey everybody, this is Ms. Dietrich helping you on lesson 2.4, which is on simplify fractions, and we're going to take a look at number 2. And I want to show you two different ways to do it to help you understand why reducing ahead of time is a better way to go. And if we look at number 2, you do have the option of just simply multiplying the numerators and doing 3 times 16, and that would end up giving you 48. And then you would do 4 times 21, and then you would end up getting 84. But that would not be in simplest form, and it might be a lot of work to figure out what that would be in simplest form. So I'm going to show you how you could reduce ahead of time to make it a little bit easier for yourself. What you're looking for is you're looking for a common factor, preferably the greatest common factor, between a numerator and a denominator. So I'm seeing that these two numbers here have a common factor. They have a common factor of 2, however the GCF of both of these is 4. So we're going to divide both this number and this number by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 16 divided by 4 is 4. All right, now if we look between these two numbers, these also share a common factor, and the greatest common factor of 3 and 21 is 3. We're going to divide both of these by 3. Divide by 3 and get 1. Divide by 3 and get 7. All right, now if we go ahead and multiply going across, 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 7 is 7. And the simplest form of 48 over 84 would be 4/7. Now if we were to divide and figure out what the GCF of 48 and 84 is, we would end up dividing by something. I want to show you what we'd be dividing by. These are little division symbols, by the way. All right, so you know how, and I'm just going to put it in red over here, you know how here we divided by 3, and we divided by 3 down here? And here we divided by 4, and here we divided by 4? If you were to combine this and multiply it out, you would get 12. That would be the number that you'd have to divide by to get this in simplest form. 48 divided by 12 is 4. 84 divided by 12 would be 7. So in other words, the combination of what you divided by for your numerators, if you multiply them together, it'll get you the GCF. But isn't it a lot easier to do it the way that we started out? All right, let's take a look at number 3 since we have a little bit of time. I'm going to move the calculator over a little bit. Let's move it down here. All right, so let's look at it going across what I call the hard way, which is especially difficult if you don't have a calculator. If we do 15 times 2, that's just simply multiplying the two numerators together. See how we get 30? And if we do 20 times 5, even though you should be able to do that in your head, but I'll still show it on the calculator, 20 times 5, you get the 100. So we could simplify 30 over 100. That would be pretty simple to do. But I want to show you a better way to do it. We're using the idea of reducing ahead of time. Now, this numerator and this denominator share a common factor. So we could go that way. We could also consider reducing this fraction. So let's just do it across just to show you that option. All right, 5 is a common factor of this number and this number. So how about we divide by 5? This divided by 5 would be 3. This divided by 5 would be 1. Now 2 is a common factor that this numerator and this denominator share. So let's divide by 2 and get 1. Divide by 2 and get 10. Now if we do 3 times 1, we're going to get 3. And if we do 10 times 1, we're going to get 10. And if we had simplified this by dividing by the GCF of 30 and 100, let's think back to what we ended up reducing. You know how we divided this by 5? And we divided this by 2? We divided this by, the 2? And we divided this by 5? If I multiply this 2 and this 5, that's going to be the GCF that I would have had to have divided by to get it in simplest form had I not pre-reduced it. So 30 divided by 10 is 3. 100 divided by 10 is 10. So I personally think it's easier to avoid all this red stuff and just do what I showed you in the blue and the green to go directly to the 3/10 because we had the 3 times 1 is 3 and the 10 times 1 is 10. So let's not even bother finding the unreduced version and use the simple version of it for number 4 because we can divide by 3, divide by 3, divide by 2, divide by 2. So the only thing left you have to do is to just, and we have a common factor here that we can divide by, is divide by the common factor here, which is 3, and then you'll be in simplest form. All right, good luck finishing that up.